Migrant caravan headed to the southern border right now. Hundreds of Central American and Haitian migrants making their way north from southern Mexico. Joining me right now is Lieutenant Christopher Olivarez of the Texas Department of Public Safety. Lieutenant Olivarez, great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. What can you tell us about this caravan headed to the U.S. right now, even as we have increased worry and fears over the spread of the Omicron variant?
Well, good morning, Maria. Great to be with you. So, again, we have been monitoring this caravan and all caravans that potentially could make the way to the Texas-Mexico border. And right now, with the resources that we're getting and plus the intel that we get from our federal partners and also our Texas DPS intel specialists, we are closely monitoring this caravan. As of right now, we don't know exactly which route they're going to take or where they're actually going to end up or if they're even going to make it to the Texas-Mexico border. But we are closely monitoring that. And in preparation for that, taking a proactive measure, we have the National Guard, thousands of National Guard, as well as Texas DPS troopers along those low water crossing areas, Eagle Pass, Del Rio ports of entry, where we have laid out shipping containers and barbed wire along the river to act as a deterrent for any potential mass migration that could take place in those potential areas.
Lieutenant, let me ask you about the structure and the process for COVID testing over there. What can you tell us when the caravan unloads? Who gets tested and who doesn't get tested for COVID? What's the process?
You know, Maria, that's a good question. I can't, obviously I can't speak on the federal side because I don't know exactly what the procedures are, but I can tell you perfect example was what took place in Del Rio with the Haitians. Over 12,000 were released into the country. Out of those 12,000, we don't know how many were tested for COVID or even who even had COVID. So again, plus we're projected to hit over 2 million illegal crossings this year for 2021. And out of that 2 million, again, we don't know how many were tested positive for COVID or even if they were even tested at all. So again, that's a good question for the federal government to answer. And again, we're still waiting ourselves as a state agency to find out exactly how many of those individuals, of those illegal immigrants, were released into the country that weren't tested for COVID.
So just to be clear, we have a crisis situation continuing to unfold. On Friday, this administration decides to shut down travel from several South African countries. The new sitting governor of New York decides to create a state of emergency in New York. We are all focused on the Omicron variant, and yet you are at the tip of the border with the Texas Public Safety Department, and you do not know if foreigners coming into this country are being tested for COVID. That's how much of an emergency this is. You don't even know if they're being tested for COVID and this new variant.
You're exactly right, Maria, and we have not known since day one, since the start of this crisis, that we don't know how many are being released into this country that are not being tested for COVID, and now we have a new strand of coronavirus. Again, who knows if these individuals that are coming across daily, thousands that are coming across daily, if they are being tested. And I can tell you right now, from what we gathered from our federal partners, they're not being tested. The vast majority are not being tested unless they display some type of symptoms. So again, that's a health issue, not only for the state of Texas, but for the entire country, not knowing who these individuals are, and again, how many are being tested for COVID.
This is an absolute joke that this administration tries to make us believe that they believe COVID is serious and important if they are not testing the people coming onto the border. Meanwhile, let's talk about the opioid epidemic. We have had almost 100,000 overdose deaths. A record number of overdose deaths occurred just in the last 12 months, largely due to fentanyl. What can the U.S. do to stop this? I know we have fentanyl coming across the border because of these wide open borders, and they're coming through the ports of entry. What can you tell us about fentanyl?
Well, that's a big issue right there. That's a key issue right there, is the fact that we have an open border right now, and the criminal organizations, the cartels are exploiting that. But I can tell you, Texas DPS, what our men and women have done this year, 2021, they have seized over 890 pounds of fentanyl. And just to put that in perspective for the viewers and for the American people, that is over 190 million lethal doses. That's enough to kill every man, woman, and child in the states of Texas, New York, and California. So again, this is drugs that are coming across the border. These are drugs that are coming across the border that made it to the ports of entry. And our state troopers are out there stopping these vehicles on highways, on major roadways, corridors that lead to not only larger cities in Texas, but to other states as well. So again, 890 pounds of fentanyl, 190 million lethal doses. That is a national security threat to our entire country, Maria. And again, it's all because of these open border policies. But I can tell you one thing that Texas is doing is we're deploying thousands of state troopers and the National Guard as well to crack down on these criminal organizations. And Governor Greg Abbott also launched an initiative to deploy those resources to the southern border, as well as implement new laws for stiffer penalties on the manufacturing and delivering of fentanyl. And I can tell you one thing on the business side. To hurt these criminal organizations, to go after these criminal organizations, you got to hurt them where it hits them the most, and that's taking away their money. And what we have done, our Texas DPS personnel have done this year, have seized over $23 million in cash, illegal proceeds that are going to these cartels, and we've been able to impact that and take that money away from them. So again, that's the key right there: is stricter border policies, and as well as going after these criminal organizations and taking their money, and exactly what's going to impact them the most.
This is so incredibly dangerous. Thank you for all of your efforts on that, Lieutenant. Look, I know someone personally who just lost their son. They are lacing fentanyl with commonly used drugs. They're lacing marijuana as well. I heard a story of laced marijuana, fentanyl-laced marijuana in Connecticut. I mean, it's absolutely crazy, Lieutenant. Thank you so much for all that you're doing. Real quick before you go, have you seen any evidence that the Biden administration is reinstating Remain in Mexico? Are you seeing any evidence of that?
Right now, Maria, I can tell you right now, it's right now this crisis that's going on. It looks like the way it was in the beginning of this year. We're still having hundreds, thousands that are coming across daily, large groups of families, unaccompanied children. So that remains to be seen how effective the Remain in Mexico policy is going to be. But also keep in mind, though, the single adults, the runners, the gotaways, those are the ones that are still going to take advantage of the situation, regardless of the Remain in Mexico policy. So again, it remains to be seen.
Yeah. All right, Lieutenant, good to see you. We'll talk soon. Christopher Olivarez joining us this morning from the Texas border. Thank you, sir.